I went raw vegan for 10 days and here is what I noticed. Hello and welcome back to this channel. My name is Ruth and this is Something Worth Seeing, where we help others help themselves. So in this video I'd like to share with you what a raw vegan is. I'd like to also share with you what I noticed within myself when I went raw for 10 days internally and externally, and also sharing with you some tips that may help you if you're considering going raw vegan for a short amount of time or for whatever amount of time you would like, and also just sharing with you general tips that I think are very essential, especially when you're breaking the raw vegan fast. So first things first, what is a raw vegan? So a raw vegan is someone who doesn't eat any animal products, so they do not eat any dairy, meat, egg, fish, anything to do with animals they do not eat. But it's also a step further to someone who is vegan. So someone who's vegan can eat food which is cooked, like for example beans that are cooked and things like that. But a raw vegan does not eat any food that is cooked. So that could mean only eating foods which are fruits and vegetables, and you have to prepare it in a certain way. If you want to eat something like lentils, you might have to sprout it over certain days, because if we eat lentils raw on the stomach, it can cause digestive issues. So a raw diet, I would say, is more restrictive to a normal plant-based or vegan diet. So what did I notice? So the first things first, outwardly I noticed that my skin was brighter. I would also say, since moving here, I feel like I'm a person that anytime I move, my body gets a bit water sensitive. So even though my face may be clear, there are some parts of my skin that sometimes are affected. And I realized when I went raw, that really cleared up. So another thing I noticed about my skin, which might be a one that you probably wouldn't think would happen, but I really felt my skin was definitely softer during this time. I'm a person that when I shower, I tend to end in a cold shower. So I do the hot and cold method. So even with that, I feel my skin has benefits, but the raw diet really added like an oomph to my skin. Like I would touch my skin, like even now I could feel like it's still a bit soft, since becoming raw, even though I feel like what's today's date? I've been at probably 5 or 6 days post being raw, and my skin is just feeling soft. I don't know how long it would last, but I was just thinking to myself, wow, maybe because of me eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, even though I'm vegan anyways, I'm plant-based, and I do eat fruits and vegetables quite a lot. But I think the raw diet just gave it this extra boost, and my skin just felt hydrated, my skin was soft, and it felt like a baby skin, to be honest, when I was on the 10 days of raw eating. So another difference that I saw was, I think this difference came, I think around day 5 or day 6, was in terms of my vision. So in this time, I am working from home, and this could mean me being on Zoom from like 9:30 to 4:30, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this is quite intense. You're on the computer a lot. And I've realized most times when I've been on the computer for a long time, my eyes get tired and they feel like dry. That's if I don't, take things like Eyebright or things like that. But I haven't really been taking that anymore. So I realized when I did the 10-day raw, my eyes felt hydrated. It felt like my eyes had like a clearer vision, if that makes sense. Not in terms of like my eyes felt like, wow, I don't need to wear glasses or anything, but they just felt like I had some type of clearer vision. And it was usually in the morning. So I remember on the raw diet, I had grapes, I had dates and Brazil nuts for breakfast. And after that, my eyes just felt like some type of miracle happened. And then the next day, having fruits again, grapefruits, all these types of fruits. I just saw how my eyes just felt healthier. They felt, I think the word is just hydration. I don't really know what else to say. So that was another difference that I really saw within myself during those 10 days. And as I said, I felt that really started to happen from day 5 to day 6 onwards. So another thing I noticed was during this time, I think maybe halfway through, I was on my cycle, and my cycle was lighter. Definitely lighter and definitely shorter in terms of the days, but I would also just add in here like a disclaimer. Usually I do not have heavy cycles, but just being on a raw diet, maybe because of all the nutritions and also your body's detoxing, your body's slowing down, I realized my cycle was definitely lighter and also shorter in days. So that is probably something helpful. Maybe if you're having issues in terms of your cycle, maybe going raw for a few days or going on a juice fast, just allowing your body to rest may help. But I'm just talking about personal experience of what happened to my body. So that was something I realized. So another thing I realized is I felt my body was lighter. As I said before, I do adopt a plant-based diet already, but going raw just made it feel an oomph lighter. It felt my body was just resting. For example, you know, some mornings I'll just have like a melon or just have some fruits, and then in the afternoon having like a salad, having really rich greens and all things like that, and also making sure I'm taking my nuts and also like dates for energy. And I just saw my body felt like I was resetting, and that really helped with another point that I would say I had clarity of mind. And also to add, during this 10 days of me going raw, it wasn't just going raw, it was also for my faith. I was also doing a 10 days prayer and a 10 days going raw. So it was like a prayer and fasting. And I saw that I was more alert. I saw, I was waking up quite early in the morning. Sometimes I'll be waking up at 3, sometimes at 4. So my body was just so like ready to just get out of bed. There were some days that I feel like in the first few days, even though I felt a bit tired because I feel like your body's detoxing, but I was just so alert in terms of like waking up early. And during those 10 days, I literally didn't use my alarm. So I just literally left my alarm, turned it off. And for those 10 days, I would wake up on average around 4. Usually I wake up at 4, but I feel like during the winter periods, it's very difficult. So I have to make sure I have an alarm. But for those 10 days, I felt my body just gets up. It's kind of like weird, even though you're eating less calories and you're eating less calories than you usually do. I always find myself when I've gone raw for a short time, my body just wants to get up in the morning. And it's kind of like as well, when I fasted in the past, or when I fast, I tend to sleep better, or I tend to like wake up early. So that was a really nice thing. So not only seeing the external benefits like my skin and my body and the internal things like my cycle, but also things like my mind, being able to have clarity, being able to have a sound mind, and being able to really grow spiritually during those 10 days. So I would say those are the things I can really remember from the top of my head. And I would really say that it's definitely worth doing. But a tip I would say is, as you're doing the 10-day raw, if you're doing it for 3 days, 5 days, or 1 day, make sure you plan your meals, have enough food, make sure your fridge is full. I should have taken a picture of my fridge, but it was just so nice just to see like a raw vegan fridge, because it was just really nice looking at all the vegetables, all the fruits, and all the preparation. And it was also nice because even though after I broke the fast, I was still able to eat like the tomatoes, the cucumbers, and everything else that I had. I felt like I had more vegetables left over, because it's amazing how like you feel like the vegetables actually stretch quite a long while when you make it into like a meal and everything like that. And another tip I would say is, when you're breaking your fast, don't go all guns blazing with like a heavy meal or something, but just start slow. So I basically broke my fast with potato and lentils, but it was like a soup, but a thick soup. And then I had some greens as well. I will probably put a picture and then I feel like I had that for probably a day or two, and then I upped it up, and then I think the third day I probably had like rice noodles, but then again with something very light, because rice noodles is very light, so I haven't really been having heavy things. And there was one day I feel like I had like nuts, maybe I didn't chew it properly, but it's like your body is like, wow, like this food is coming in, you know, because your body's being used to like lighter foods over the fast. So that is something I really would recommend. As you're breaking the fast, don't go all guns blazing. Make sure you break the fast gradually with something soft and something that won't irritate your stomach, because your stomach has had this time of like reset, and you know, just going in that time of, you know, peace and that time of detox. So that's definitely something I would recommend. Just spend that time, you know, really thinking, how am I going to break this fast? And don't do it with something too heavy, because that could really irritate your stomach. So yes, that is it. If you would like some raw vegan recipes, just let me know and I will try and do my best to do that. So yes, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are considering going raw, you know, make sure you comment if you have any questions or any tips, or if you've gone raw before, was it successful, was it not? This is kind of like my 4th time going raw, but this time was the longest, for 10 days. I think last year I did it for 7, the year before I did it for 7, and then one random time while I was at university, I think I'd done it for 3 days. And the time I done it for 3 days was just difficult. I was supposed to go longer, but I didn't. So it's been a really nice time just to have discipline. And I realized that is something that was key during this 10 days, just the practice of discipline, the practice of, you know, surrendering all, you know, as I wanted to grow spiritually. So me denying myself of this the meals I would usually have, just to see clarity and a peace of mind. So I would really recommend it. Fasting really helps with clarity, focus, and giving me the guideline. And that's why I wanted to do it around this time this year, just to allow me to know what I should be doing in 2021. So yes, see you later, and hope you have a blessed day. Bye.